When something is not working at work, the most powerful move you can make is taking the initiative and talking to your boss about it, because avoiding that conversation or ignoring it doesn't make it go away, it just builds. My name is Sara Camilo, and I'm a certified career coach and resume writer. Today I'm going to be giving you those tools to have those difficult conversations with confidence and partnership with your boss, not negativity or complaining. So whether you need to talk to your manager about burnout, feedback, fairness, or just misaligned priorities, this video is for you. I've broken this video into 5 parts. Why having this conversation is important, how to approach it, what to say, the beginning, the middle, and the end, the mindset you should be in, and then how to move forward. 1, why difficult conversations matter. So this section actually relates to any relationship in your life, whether that's a spouse, a family member, a child, a friend, as well as your manager. If you're afraid to bring up these issues and have these difficult conversations, you risk slowly building up a resentment. And that's a career killer, to be honest. And that crosses into so many other issues. Strong communicators address these issues early, and they do it so that in a way that builds trust, loyalty, and enhances the partnership or the relationship with that individual. In short, avoiding discomfort today equals bigger problems tomorrow. Part 2 is how to approach this conversation. You want to approach it with confidence and collaboration, not blame or anger, similar to what we talked about in the first video. When you're preparing to have this tough conversation with your manager, it's important to lead with clarity and not emotion. Here are 4 phrases that you can use to open the conversation, which sets the tone in the right way and will be carried throughout the conversation. You want it to be constructive and professional. 1, so if there's just a general concern, you can say something like, I've noticed something that I'd like to get your perspective on. So this approach invites a conversation without putting anyone on the defensive. If your workload is just feeling overwhelming, you can say, I want to make sure that we are aligned on my workload and priorities. Could we talk through them together? So this shows initiative while asking for support and partnership on the situation. If you've been feeling burnt out for a while, you can say, can we talk about how to make my day-to-day work more sustainable? And just simply say you're struggling. That's okay to be vulnerable here. You're not complaining, you're problem solving. You're looking to them to help you solve this problem. And if you're feeling stuck or you've hit a roadblock in some way, you can say, here's what I've tried so far. Can I get your input on next steps? It's always good to bring ideas to the conversation, different ways that you would approach the next steps, and then get their feedback and their recommendation on how to move forward. It shows ownership while still asking for guidance and respect since they're your manager. Again, it's important to set the tone in the right way so that your manager doesn't feel attacked. Part 3, what to say next, how to carry on the conversation. So again, if it's a bandwidth or you're just feeling burnt out, you can say, right now I'm at capacity and I want to set expectations that I can meet. Can we look at what's most urgent with my projects or with my workload? If you're seeking some feedback from your manager, maybe there's somebody that doesn't offer feedback. They're not much of a talker. You don't hear good or bad in any way, but you'd love to get some feedback to make sure you're on the right path. You can say something like this. I'd love to know what's working and where I can level up. Would you be open to giving me more feedback going forward? And then see what they say. It's a simple question. You're just looking for a little bit of guidance and making sure that you're on the right path at the right speed. If it's something about like you're just unsure what your priority is for your workload, you can say something like this. I want to make sure my time is going towards the most important goals for the team. Can we align on what those are? Now, similar to what I said in the first video, you're always looking to not only enhance your team's performance, but if you can do anything that aligns with the organizational goals as well, depending on what your job is, it's always good to pull that in too, so that it shows you're looking at the big picture. The next part is all about mindset. When you're having these conversations, similar to an interview, sometimes your nerves get in the way and you forget what you're trying to say. You want to make sure that you're resetting your mindset occasionally. So show up calm, prepared, clear, confident, and then remind yourself throughout the conversation, you're not trying to be difficult. This is supposed to be professional, collaborative, open, and you're just sharing how you're feeling. So make sure that you have that mindset throughout the whole conversation. Again, so there's nobody getting on the defense. You're not trying to complain. You're trying to enhance that partnership and overall build more trust with your manager. Having these open conversations are great to have so that you have more of them. They rarely end with just one. And then finally, how to end the conversation. Ending the conversation is just as important, if not more important, than how you approach it and how you started off. You want to reinforce that collaboration, clarify next steps and any follow-up that might be needed, and just maintain professionalism, especially if the topic was a tough one or just a difficult topic to explore. So here are 4 ways to close any type of conversation. Again, if it's just a general concern that you talk through, you can summarize their input and suggest a follow-up if you feel it's needed. So you can say something like this: "Thank you for sharing your thoughts. I'll reflect on what you said and follow up if I need clarification." Another example is, "I really appreciate you taking the time to talk through this with me, and I'm feeling really good about moving forward." Simple like that. Number 2, if it's about your workload or priorities, similar to what we said in video number 1, your manager doesn't know probably half of what you do every day. So it's important to let them know when the workload has become too much or just overbearing. So confirm alignment with them and again, show appreciation. Something like this: "This was really helpful. I'll adjust my focus based on our conversation." Or another one: "Thank you for walking through this with me. I'll send over a quick summary of next steps to make sure that we are aligned." So that summary and that email follow-up is going to be really important should you have the type of manager that isn't always the most organized, or maybe you feel like they didn't fully hear you. You don't want to be dinged for that later. So having it in writing is going to be important and a good reminder going forward. Now, if your conversation was about burnout or sustainability with your workload, again, express appreciation, that's kind of the theme here, and their openness to finding solutions. Here are a couple of things that you could say. "Thank you for listening. I feel better just having talked this through." Or, "I'll try the ideas that we discussed and check back if needed to see how things are going." So I think follow-up here, especially when it comes to burnout, your manager doesn't want anybody to feel burnt out on their team because that most likely means they're going to leave. So they're going to want you to follow up with this, especially when it comes to burnout. Burnout can lead to poor mental health issues and so many more other things, which again ties us back to why having this conversation is so important. So be open with them and make sure that you're following up. Hopefully they're giving you solutions which may entail taking some of the work off your plate or delegating your work to somebody else on the team, something like that to make your life easier so that you remain happy at work. And if your conversation was about a roadblock in a process or a project or whatever, and you just need some input, you definitely want to recap this advice in an email and commit to action. For this type of situation, most likely action is going to be needed here. So a couple things you can say is, "Great, I'll move forward with your suggestions and keep you posted on progress." Or, "Thank you for your time. I'm glad I was able to pick your brain about this issue and we could talk through this together. I'll take it from here and keep you posted on how it goes." So these conversations rarely feel easy. It depends on what kind of relationship you have with your manager and how open they are to changing and receiving feedback as well. Sometimes some are fantastic, some can be a little difficult. So ultimately, having these difficult conversations, though, is going to make your relationship stronger and your career stronger as well. Comment below if you've ever had to navigate any tricky conversations, especially recently, and how you handled it. Or if you have any tips for anybody else that worked for you that can help others through it as well. So that's it. If you like this video, please like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.